Hello students, in today's video on basic concepts in geometry, we shall be doing conditional statements and converse. Conditional statements and converse. Hope you have watched the video that was sent on this. Let us quickly explain to you what exactly this statement mean. These statements are. Okay. The statements which can be written in the if-then form are called conditional statements. The part of the statement following if is called the antecedent and the part following then is called the consequent. Now what is the meaning of this, students? If I take the statements, any if then form statement are called as conditional statement, and the part following, the part that comes after if is called antecedent, and the part that comes after the then is called as consequent. Let us understand with the help of an example. Let us take a conditional statement, that is, if A is equal to B, then C is equal to D. That means if A equal to B happens, then only C equal to D will happen. This is what is the conditional, this is the condition. Okay, now in this, let us understand the part of the statement following if. That means what is coming after if A equal to B. So this will become our antecedent, and what is coming after then C equal to D. So this will become our consequent. So antecedent, which is also called as a given part, is equal to is A equal to B, and consequent is called the to prove that part, which is equal to C equal to D. Okay, this is very important when you are writing theorems. We'll be doing many examples to understand this concept. So if the antecedent and the consequent in a given conditional statement are interchanged, the resulting statement is called the converse of the given statement. Hope you have understood what is the converse. You have already seen in the video, when A is to B, these positions get interchanged, we get the converse statement. So let's write the converse statement of this conditional statement. See here, we get if C equal to D, then A equal to B. Did you understand? I have interchanged the position of the antecedent and the consequent. So when I interchange the position, we get the converse statement. Now, as already told in the video, that if a conditional statement happens is true, then its converse is not necessarily true. Okay, did you understand? A conditional, it is already, this particular statement is already told to you in the, shown to you in the video. We will explain to you as and when we come across such a case. It may not always be true. So let's start with practice set 1.3. Write the following statement in if then form. So the first question, the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Now students, this question, there is no if, there is no then. So you have to understand where should the if come and where should the then come. So let's understand the opposite angles of a parallelogram. Now what is a parallelogram? It is a quadrilateral. So what is the conditional statement? That is, the conditional statement here is, if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite angles are congruent. Clear? This word quadrilateral is missing. It is hidden. You are supposed to understand that a parallelogram is a quadrilateral. So that is how the word quadrilateral has to be introduced here. I hope I am clear with this. Okay, let's take up another sum. The second one, the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. Now, like in the first question, now you should understand what is hidden here. Again, there is no if, there is no then. You have to write that. So let us write what is a rectangle. A rectangle is a quadrilateral. So I think some of you can guess what is the answer. Let's write the answer. If a quadrilateral is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. Okay, students, let's go to the next question. The third question. In an isosceles triangle, the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base. A very big statement. So where will the if be and where is the then going to be? So here it is, in an isosceles triangle, the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the base is perpendicular. That means what is the condition? If the triangle is an isosceles triangle, then this condition will happen. Okay, so let's write the answer. If a triangle is an isosceles triangle, then the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint, you just have to copy all this, midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base. Only thing you should know where to put if and where to put then. The rest of the things are same. Okay students, let's go to the second part of the question, practice set 1.3, in which you have to write the converses. Now to write the converse, we are supposed to have the conditional statement. Now if the conditional statement is given directly, we need not write it. But if it is not, then we are expected to write the conditional statement and then write it. Then it becomes easier to write the converse. So let's take the first example. The alternate angles formed by two parallel lines and their transversal are congruent. Now what are congruent? The alternate angles are congruent. When will they be congruent? If the two lines are parallel. Okay. So let us, this is not a conditional statement. So first you have to write the conditional statement. Only then it becomes easier for you to write the converse. So let's start with the conditional statement. If two lines are parallel, then the alternate angles formed by the two lines and their transversals are congruent. And now deliberately I have highlighted the part that comes after if and that comes after then, so that you understand when we are writing the converse, these positions have to interchange. Okay, now what will come in the converse statement? You think for a while, I'll give you the answer in a few seconds. Okay, so the converse statement would be, if the alternate angles formed by the two lines and their transversals are congruent, then the two lines are parallel. Simply interchange the position, you will get the converse statement. See students, in this question the conditional statement was not given, so that is why I had to write it, and then we write it. Then we have to write the converse. Okay, now let's take up the second question here. In the second question, if a pair of the interior angles made by a transversal of lines are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. This is the question. Now this is already a conditional statement. Okay, this is already a conditional statement, so you don't have to write it again, but for explanation purpose I am mentioning it. Okay, when you're writing in your books, you need not write this part. Okay, now if conditional statement, if a pair of interior angles made by a transversal of two lines are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. So this is your if part, this is the then part, this is the antecedent, the pink part is the antecedent and the blue part is the consequent. Now what I have to do, I have to interchange the position to get the converse. So let's write the converse statement. If the lines are parallel, then the pair of interior angles made by a transversal of two lines are supplementary. So students, in this question, the conditional statement was, the question itself was a conditional statement. This part I had only written for explanation purpose. So when you are writing the answer, you need not write this part. So your answer will contain only this much, the converse statement directly. That was only for explanation. Okay, now let us proceed to the next question. What is the next question? The diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. Let's write the conditional statement, because this question is not a conditional statement. So let's write what is a conditional statement. That is, if a quadrilateral is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. Correct? Because it's a quadrilateral. This word is missing, it's hidden. So let's write the converse statements. That is, we have to interchange the positions. So what we'll be writing in the converse statement? That is, if the diagonals of a quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a rectangle. See students, here in this part I have introduced this word because diagonals of what? You have to mention it's a quadrilateral with which type of figure. So diagonals of a quadrilateral. So these words you have to write here. Then the quadrilateral is a rectangle. Let's go to the problem set 1 now. Write the converse of each of the following statements. Now this is again a conditional statement, so we are expected to write only the converse. But again, for explanation purpose, I am going to write the conditional statement once again. That is, if the sum of the measures of a angles in a figure is 180 degrees, then the figure is a triangle. You understood why did I write this? So that the if, antecedent and the consequent are highlighted. Okay, so let's write the converse now. We interchange the positions. If the figure is a triangle, then the sum of measures of its angles is 180 degrees. Okay, we don't have to write sum of the measures of that figure is 180 degrees. The sum of the measures of its angles is 180 degrees. Clear students? Now this conditional statement was already there, so I have removed this. So your solution will contain only the question and this converse statement. Again I repeat, if the question is not in as a conditional statement, not in the form of if and then you have to first convert it into a conditional statement and then only write the converse. Okay, let's go to the next question. If the sum of the measures of two angles is 90 degrees, then they are complement of each other. So this is the conditional statement, and the converse would be, if two angles are complement of each other, then the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. Clear students? So again, this conditional statement will go away because it is already there in the question. Write the converse again. The third question, if the corresponding angles formed by a transversal of two lines are congruent, then the two lines are parallel. So again the conditional statement is there, but again for explanation purpose I am mentioning. So let's write the converse. Converse mein what will happen? The blue and the pink positions will get interchanged. So what will come? If the two lines are parallel, then the corresponding angles formed by a transversal of two lines are congruent. It's only interchanging the positions, children. Okay, again conditional statement there in the question, so we don't write it in the answer. I hope I'm clear, children. Hope you have understood how to write converse statements. Let us take the next question, which says that if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. Okay, this is a test of divisibility for 3. So let's write the converse statement now, which says that if a number is divisible by 3, then the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. Okay, now the question has the condition. The question itself is a conditional statement, so while writing the answer I will not be mentioning the conditional statement. This is that was again for explanation purpose. Hope this is clear, students. Now let's go to the next question, in question number 9, which says that write the antecedent or the given part and the consequent part or the part to be proved in the following statements. Let's take the first question. If all sides of a triangle are congruent, then its all angles are congruent. Now we know what is the antecedent. Antecedent is the part that comes after if. This is the part after if, and what is the consequent that comes after then. So let's write this part in as separate answers. That is antecedent, all sides of a triangle are congruent, and consequent will be all angles of the triangle are congruent. Let's take the next question. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. This is not a conditional statement, so we write the conditional statement and underline the antecedent and the consequent here. So what we will write it as the antecedent, that is the quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and the consequent will be the diagonals bisect each other. So hope you have understood this how to write antecedents and consequent, students. With this we come to the end of today's session. Have a nice day. Thank you.